Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be reading paranormal stories because I love this stuff and I just want to share my opinion as well. I also want to say before I start getting into these stories is a trigger warning with any of these stories. If you're sensitive to any of this kind of stuff, I may be talking about some stuff that I don't know what I'm going to be talking about. So feel free to skip this video if you need to, because one of my main things with my channel is try and keep it as safe as possible a space to be. So I just want to say trigger warning before I get into it. Let's get into it. Okay, the first one that came up was a friend recorded a real scary psychophony. I've personally never heard of that, which is interesting. I don't remember ever hearing that. I don't know what that is. Have you ever heard of that? Let me know in the comment section down below. Is a spiritualist phenomenon where a medium acts as a channel for spirits to speak using their voice. Oh, a trance channel. This is the thing in the paranormal community, the paranormal and spiritual community, is like we have different language for things, but we're talking about the same thing. We're talking about the same thing, but we use different language. In my language, that would be a trance channel. Whatever. This is why I created my Patreon, so we can all get on the same page. Okay, it's fine. We don't need to get on the same page, it's okay. But yeah, that's called a trance channel, where somebody's channeling, like they're channeling a being, but the being is speaking through them. And it's not possession. It's not what that is. It's not what that is. It's a channel. It's a psychic channel. Okay, so the story. Let's get into it. I'm not sure what to think about this. My brother's friend, someone I know and trust, went through something really disturbing about 2 weeks ago. He witnessed a very gory and violent accident and was so shocked that he decided to send a voice message to a doctor friend describing everything in detail. At some point in the recording, his voice suddenly cuts off and you can clearly hear a woman's voice saying, "What do I do? What do I do? Lord, help me." She sounded scared and desperate. The victim was a woman, according to the news. We were completely freaked out. We got chills all over. He's not the kind of person who would ever prank us, which makes it even scarier. And we saw the conversation. It looked real. I still have the audio, but I don't know how to upload it here. It's in Spanish, and honestly, it really messed me up. I even felt chills and chest tightness after hearing it. Everyone who did felt the same. I just wanted to share this because it was so shocking. Has anyone experienced something like this before? I got so scared I couldn't sleep, and I want to know if I should cleanse of something at this point. Yes, you should. Yeah. So that's interesting. So I explained, what psychophony is what I would say a trance channel is what the definition is. What this sounds like is possession. That's what that sounds like. So that's the thing. Possession doesn't always need to be something evil taking over your body. I feel like possession it's kind of nuanced. How I would differentiate it is like if it's a human spirit that's channeling through you, that's speaking through your voice, if it's a human spirit or some type of entity or spirit talking through you, that I don't really think is a trance channel. How I perceive trance channel is more of like a spirit guide or a higher dimensional being, an angel, something like that. Like 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th dimension speaking through you. Like that's more of a trance channel, like oracle type situation. This kind of teeters the line on what that really was. Yeah, I would say that spirit wouldn't necessarily have to attach to you, but it might have if it used the person's voice. I would definitely cleanse because it's not a higher dimensional being. It's a human spirit. So I would definitely do a cleanse, 100%. Because higher dimensional beings respect boundaries, free will, and space. Trance channelers, or the phenomena of psychophony, or trance channelers, it's a psychic clair, right? It's a psychic sense. Respect boundaries and free will choice. And it's consensual to enter your field. You need consent to enter my field, right? This is different. That's not what I thought that was. Interesting. Okay, next one. Cold body appears on thermal camera at a children's museum. Chills. Don't like it. Don't know if I believe it. Could be AI. Why I will always believe. Explanations appreciated. Let's get into it. I grew up in an old house. Same. 2 stories tall and built by my great-grandfather. That's so cute. I researched endlessly for anything notable on the property. Nothing. My father and I have both had experiences there. Seeing people in mirrors, shadows moving in our peripheral, the basics. classic haunting in a childhood home. Yep, yep, yep. It started for me when I was about 9 years old. My parents were both heavy sleepers, and my brother lived in a loft with a ladder that creaked at every step. I would not know. My parents' door was always shut at night. I woke up sometimes after midnight and headed to the restroom. I was still scared of the dark at this time, so I brought a flashlight. Valid. Even with the flashlight, I would turn on every light in the bathroom, which would wake me up more in turn. Staying up a bit longer was something I was willing to risk if I didn't have to walk in the dark. On the way back, I turned off the bathroom light. I was halfway down the hallway when I tripped and fell against the wall. As soon as I hit the wall, something grabbed me from behind, their arms underneath mine. They ran with me to my bed at an inhuman pace. I called out to my brother dead asleep, went out into the hall and turned on the big lights, which I wasn't allowed to turn on at night. In fear of waking up others, I knocked on my parents' door. Nothing but snoring from them both in response. The only person in the house at the time was my grandmother, who lived downstairs. She hadn't been able to climb upstairs for a decade at that point. I had no explanation for what happened. I woke up with my armpit sore and a bruise on my head. My parents didn't believe me, neither did my brother. My father only started to believe me when I recounted the tale at 14. I still remember it so vividly, the wind rushing past me as they ran, looking around scared. Is there any other thing that could explain what happened to me? If so, I would appreciate it. If not, that's all right. I don't know. Any thoughts on that one? Let me know. Okay. They're showing another video. I don't know if I believe videos, because videos, we have a lot of technology nowadays, you know what I'm saying? For stories like that, it's interesting because we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Now, to me, where something like that I've never really come across anything like that in all of my paranormal research and everything that I've been through in all the my whole paranormal experiences of my whole life, and everything that I've heard, all the paranormal stories and history and research that I've done. Nothing like that has ever really come up that's been talked about. I've never really heard anything like that for a non-physical entity to pick somebody up and bring them to their room from down the hallway, to have that much strength, like continuously for multiple seconds, is not really heard of. So I don't know. I mean, it's not my experience. I can't say if it is or it isn't, but how I understand energy works, and even if the entity, it has a lot of power to it, a lot of oomph, more experiences, very similar experiences would happen, I would say, more physical things. So I'm curious to know if there's other physical things happening in the home. And if it's that powerful, then like what else is going on? Like, I need more. I need more, because that is highly not common. Highly rare, if at all, right? And I know we've heard stories, like if you've ever seen or heard or watched The Conjuring, somebody gets picked up and thrown, and you know, that, again, our memory can also play a role in that, and what we remember and what the truth was. So, you know, I do believe things like that have happened, but to be thrown is one thing. Like, people have been pushed and thrown and things like that. But to be picked up and carried, I don't know. I'm not saying it's not possible, because I don't think anything is impossible. I don't know. Okay, moving on. I didn't believe in the paranormal until I became a cop. The question of whether ghosts exist seems to split people into skeptics, believers, non-believers. And somewhere in between, I guess, I would say. There's some people in between. Some firmly dismiss any idea of the supernatural, insisting on logical explanations for every odd noise or shadow, while others have had experiences that lead them to believe in something beyond our understanding. I am a believer because I'm a psychic and a psychic medium and all that, but I wouldn't say skeptic, but that gets the point across of, like, any little noise, I am not going to assume is paranormal. Like, let's say I go into an abandoned house, I'm doing a paranormal investigation, and I hear something, I'm not automatically assuming it's paranormal. You know, things make noises, right? So that too. And also, like, hearing noises and things like that, like, it's not to dismiss that it's not paranormal. It might be, but also might not be. And that's kind of where I land with that. So whenever I do investigations or watch investigations, I'm always like, okay, well, what's a reasonable explanation for that? Or is it paranormal, right? So I'm like a healthy balance, I feel like, because not everything is like that. And there's some people that are like, every haunted place is like evil. It's like, no, it's not, actually. So, personally, I was never a believer. Growing up in an older house, I often encountered strange occurrences, but always tried to rationalize them as something explainable. That changed once I became a police officer. It didn't take long to realize that not everything has a clear answer. I've attended calls that left me questioning my understanding of reality and kept me up at night. More recently, I started investigating various locations mentioned in the stories. I'm still learning, but I can say without a shadow of a doubt, I believe. I know I've shared a few of these stories here, like the death notification call, the cemetery gates incident, and the burglary in progress. Where are these stories? Those are the three main that stand out, but for more, check out Policing the Shadows. Where's his stories? Where do I find them? I don't know if I could do cameras in my home because I don't know what I'd find. All good things, angels and my dog, but I've actually caught an orb on camera before, and I believe it was an angel. I don't remember what video it was for, but I think it's on my Instagram. But yeah, I caught an orb on camera. It's really funny. And I don't have bugs in my room. Like I don't even have spiders in my room because I do like energetic protections in here, and it's actually a joke in my family that I literally don't have bugs, and there's bugs and spiders everywhere else, but just not in my room. They're just not allowed in here. So, I don't know what it was. Okay, we'll do a few more. I felt a little bit of pressure right here, and that's usually where I get migraines, so I'm gonna have some of my electrolytes. I've also decided to share more about my chronic migraines, chronic illness stuff, and how I navigate and deal with that, because it's actually like decreased a lot since I've been doing energy healing, and now I understand it as more of like symptoms, and so I listen to my body communicates with me through those symptoms. And so I'm going to be sharing more on social media about my journey with that. And it relates to this because we're talking about paranormal experiences and encounters. And I was just channeling. I did my May video just before this. So might just be, I need a little bit more grounding, which electrolytes help with that. I've also put bubbles of protection around this video and around the stories to protect against any type of energy transfer and to cancel anything that I say to not further perpetuate anything as well. So yeah, here we go. I do not like bedtime ghosts. The title of this is Bedtime Ghosts. No, not allowed in my room. Nope. Anyone ever dealt with this before? This has happened quite a few dozen times before. Oh girl. It happens every so often, recently this past week and even last night. As soon as I'm about to pass out, the tapping begins nearby. Not while I'm laying for hours beforehand or during the day, only when I'm literally setting alarms or about to crash. I'll see things in the corner of my eye occasionally, feel cold air sometimes too, but usually just tapping as I'm trying to get rest, like a ghost or entity or something is trying to keep me disturbed and awake. What do you guys think? Usually I notice it happens more often when I'm going through a lot of bad shit. 2, it seems high emotions. Okay, so first I would do all your research in all your protections. Doing protections for yourself in your room and your home and the land that you live on. You can do research on the land you live on your home, if there is a history there. Ask whoever you live with, or like ancestrally, if there's anyone that messed around in the occult or in paranormal, and what kind of protection measures or clearing measures that they have used or have not used. Another way to look at this is, okay, so all of the clearing stuff, because first of all, we have control over our space. This is my realm. The third dimension is my realm. This is my space. This is my realm. You do not belong here. Period. So that's one way, that's a stance that you can have, right? Because we have more free will choice than we understand, with our belief system, it's like, oh, this is happening. Like, this is happening. This is what it is. With that statement, like, oh, this is happening, we are allowing it to continue. But we don't want it to continue. It's just that that's just the way the energy works, right? So if it is like, this is not happening, this is not accepted or allowed, this is my space, this is my realm, this is my dimension, and you are not allowed here. Do not accept or allow tippy taps on the wall. I'm sleeping. No, not the time for that. And I do not accept or allow, like, I don't play. I'm not playing. right? And so that's the energy to come at that with, is what I would suggest. And it should clear because you are being firm in your intentions and in your boundaries. So clearing, all clearing protection techniques, I would definitely research what to do for that. Like there's lots of burnables that you can use for your space and your room and the land you live on specifically, right? I would connect with Gaia for protection, connect with any higher dimensional beings that you would like for protection, angels of protection, divine spirit guides, guardian angels, however you perceive that, right? Your higher self can also protect you. And stay firm that that is your space and you do not accept or allow that. You can get singing bowls. This is my Tibetan singing bowl, right? And it just clears the space. So all the clearing techniques, right? Singing bowls, crystals, burnables, stating your intention with the energy of conviction. I command and declare that any energies in this space that's not of the highest divine love, light, truth, and compassion leave effective immediately. Period. So all that kind of stuff. Like I would do research for all that. What it could be, kind of how I'm perceiving this, is because you mentioned that whenever you're going through a bad time or a hard time, could be an aspect of your energy, because this can happen. And it could increase, like you could be a physical medium too. And so not everybody's a physical medium, not everyone that experiences stuff is a physical medium, but it's very common. Physical mediums kind of project their energy a little bit, and they have such a strong energy that whenever they're going through high emotion or high impact life stuff, things will happen around them because they are a physical medium. Things will tap, things will knock, things will knock over, spill, like different things like that. So I would look into physical mediumship and your psychic senses and how to manage that, how to ground yourself. Grounding is going to be your best friend, I feel like. And so it could be an aspect, like that's the kind of the first thing that I thought of when I was reading this. Not that I want to read other people's energy without their consent, it's just kind of what came up. And that's kind of what I perceive. So I felt like I read that for the highest and best of all, if that resonates with anybody. Yeah. Physical mediumship. It could be an aspect of your own energy that you are unintentionally projecting. Like we don't mean for this to happen, right? But it's kind of like, I feel like there's a lot of shadow work and personal development work in there to kind of clear some stuff in there. Feeling safe in your environment. It could be past life as well, but is like, it feels like, why is there an aspect of you that may not feel safe in your environment? Or if you have any experiences like that where you don't feel safe, your nervous system, regulating your nervous system for sure. Sometimes in terms of cases like this, our reality could be reflecting back to us things that we need to pay attention to. And they're not always in the way that we would like. Okay, next one. This is a different story. No comments on this one. Interesting. Okay. Oh, 2 days ago. Okay. My experience with a spirit haunting. This happened more than 20 years ago, back when I had flatmates in a 4-bedroom house. Of importance, when I moved in, one of my new flatmates had been previously living in the room I was going into, as he'd switched into a bigger room. I had recently heard that you should ignore ghosts, etc., because once they figure out someone can sense them, of course they're going to start trying even harder to get your attention. Yeah, but if you say no, then it's no. With conviction. So one night when I was sleeping, no. I just read the sentence and I'm like immediately no. I felt a finger scratch my pillow, the best I can describe it. I woke up immediately, but kept my eyes closed. For real, I feel you. And instinctively pretended not to notice it and that I was asleep. Sometime later, probably the same week, when I was hanging out with the flatmate that used to be in my room, I asked him if he'd ever had an unusual experience when he lived in that room. I was very careful with my wording and I didn't want to prompt him. Then he described exactly the same experience and he even reacted the same way by ignoring it. Now for the more interesting part. Several months later, I woke up in the middle of the night. I have more in recent years learned how to do out of body, and in fact this was really occurring and standing out. What is happening? I woke up in the middle of the night and standing in the corner of the room staring out the window was an old man. He sensed that I could see him and was really pissed off about that. He walked towards me, physical body still asleep in bed, and walked right through the bed and even my body to the edge of the bed I was on and started choking me. That made me really wake up. I don't know why, but I wasn't even scared after I woke up, but I was out of breath. I did not have sleep apnea, by the way. I figured that maybe this man died in the house and felt I was intruding on his space, so he was not evil, just maybe frustrated. So I made a deal with him, more like sending him a thought message that I would move my bed to the other side of the room as far away from that corner as practical. Never had another encounter there, so that did the trick. See, my thing is, like, I have really strong feelings about, to each your own as well. If you're like, oh, well, this was your home, so, like, you can stay. For me, like, I feel like sometimes people don't feel like they can kick out spirits that used to live in the home. They're not alive anymore. Like, it's up to you. Like, if that's what you want, that's what you choose, fine. But I also feel like you don't need to feel like they're obligated to stay. They can leave, right? If you don't want them there. Like, if you truly don't want them, like, oh, well, I'd rather not have a spirit in my house. Okay, well, then you can research on how to send them into the light if you would like to, or you can simply state, like, you are not allowed here anymore. This is my room now. This is my room now. We can speak with them, like, with respect, obviously, right? Like, but with conviction. Scaring is not okay. Scaring me is not okay. Touching me is not okay. I do not accept or allow anyone or anything to touch me. Period. It's not accepted or allowed. It's not accepted or allowed to be in my room. But you can also talk with the spirit, like this person, talk with them, and they allowed them to stay in the room. I wouldn't, personally. No, thank you. But you can talk to them and be like, hey, like, listen, you are passed on now. It's okay to go into the light, and it's okay to move on, but you are not accepted or allowed in this room. This is my room now. And I do not accept or allow any spirits in this room, right? So it's like, you can either move on or go into the light, or, like, you need to leave. So you can decide on what you'd like to do, but this is my home, period. And that's it. Like, this is our realm, right? This is our dimension. So, weird neighborhood. I'm going to sound crazy. No, you're not. It's fine. I'm not even sure if this is the right group to be posting in. But I moved to Oklahoma recently, and something really weird is going on. Nothing in my house, but every week for 8 weeks on trash day, nobody's trash is outside. I'm usually late bringing it down an hour or two before the truck gets here, and every week I look down the road and nobody else is there. Not just that, but the only sign of life here is my next door neighbors. I own a business out of my home, plenty of cars come and go, but none stop anywhere on my road. There are cars at the other houses, but I swear they never leave. My biggest fact I have to be freaked out by is trash day. Otherwise, it just feels off and like I'm completely alone where there should be people. It's eerie. I believe it. I believe there's a lot of stuff. A lot of weird stuff going on in the world that we don't know about. What? Dementors. Does anyone know the correct or more technical name for the ghosts that are similar to Dementors? I don't have a video or photo right now, but they are like a black stain that moves fluidly and leaves a trail when it does. Can someone tell me what this might mean? Okay, I think this is the last one we'll do, but I'm really interested in doing more of these, so let me know. Can someone tell me what this might mean? I was sitting in the dining room next to my kid while they were eating in their high chair. I was nodding in and out while browsing the internet on my phone. The last time I nodded back awake, the lights looked like they had been turned off. Not my vision going black, but everything else just looked dark. Things were still visible, just in the dark. I gasped. I'm scared of the dark. I pulled my head back, blinked, and the lights came on. I thought it was a rolling blackout, so I checked the microwave to see that familiar blinking green set of numbers after a small power outage. But it showed the correct time. It wasn't blinking. My husband said the power never went out. Also, the other day my daughter, 5, apparently saw a white floating ball upstairs. She said it traveled down the hallway and just disappeared. Has anyone else experienced this? And if so, what could this mean? Yes. Yeah, I have. It's so interesting that somebody else is saying this because I've experienced this my whole life, basically. And my eyes being open sometimes, and it looks like the lights go off and turn back on again, and it could be a power surge. It could just be a flicker of the lights, but I've literally experienced this my whole life, and so I feel like it's not a power surge. I mean, it could be flash, and it's not blinking. Like I know what blinking is. And it's everything goes dark and then turns back on again. But it's not a power, like it's not a power outage. It's not like it turns back on again. It's just like a it's like a weird like glitch. Almost like glitches in the Matrix, but like it's like a glitch. It's like a weird thing. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I really don't know how to explain it. It's weird. So that's interesting. Okay, we are not reading that one. Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna read one more, actually. Opening third eye experiences. Oh, it's really short. Yeah. I've tried to open my third eye without any success. I always get a little afraid because I've heard horror stories. My friend opened his and he immediately saw evil entities everywhere, on top of roofs, watching everything in the sky, on top of streetlights. I want to know about any positive or negative experiences, and if you could go back, would you still open it? How did you finally open it? Your psychic senses, opening your psychic senses does not need to be scary. We literally have nothing to be afraid of. We feel fear because human emotion, because we're human, right? But we literally have nothing to be afraid of. And entities that are more feed off of negative energy, we don't have to feed into that. We also set our boundaries. So with psychic senses, again, I teach this, and I'll leave the link down below teaching on how to open your psychic senses in a safe, controlled environment. You get to control the stage, right? So with your third eye, that's your clairvoyance, your sixth sense, and your third eye chakra. So I teach this in the third eye chakra and the psychic development course. And it's opening up your psychic clairs, your psychic senses, but you can state intention specifically. I do not want to see anything scary. I do not want to be scared. I do not want to see anything of negative intent or low vibrational energies. I do not accept or allow low vibrational energies to be around me. I do not accept or allow low vibrational energies to see me. You know, you can do invisibility cloaks, the violet cloak of invisibility. Like there's so many different ways you can go about this in a safe way to open up your psychic senses. So I teach this in my psychic development course. I'll leave the link down below. And exactly, yeah. So I just saw a comment that says, don't be afraid. It's if fear is inside of you, that's what you'll see and manifest. Yes, correct. So like your reality is also reflecting back to you. Now, there are entities that do exist that are low vibrational, but we don't have to be afraid of them in any way. Fear is the food source. But if we're not afraid, there's no food. And again, like this is our realm. This is our realm. This is our home. It's not their home. We get to make the rules. We get to set the rules. We get to enforce the rules. I will wrap this video up here. This was a lot of fun for me. And if you want me to do more videos like this, let me know. I would love to. And let me know any thoughts, comments you'd like in the comment section down below. And this was a lot of fun. So maybe I'll make some more of these again in the future. Maybe some, this was more paranormal, but I'd love to get into all of the other stuff, like aliens, weird encounters, different things like the Appalachian Mountains, some fun stuff. Maybe even stories of where I lived, like the land stories of where I lived too. That'd be really cool. So let me know what you'd like to see or have me film next. And I'm excited for the rest of this year. I hope everyone has a really great May and a really great week. And we'll chat soon. Bye.